Hey, this is Alex with the Unbiased Trailblazer podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Unbiased Blazers. There's a link in our bio for our Discord server where you can join in on the discussions, give us takes, give us comments, or simply just join in on a podcast. Also, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this podcast. Now, let's get to the show. And as always, Rip City, baby.
3, 2, 1,
0.
0.
Liftoff and the clock has started.
What is up, Rip City? This is episode 32 of the Unbiased Trailblazers podcast, and we have a special guest here with us. Fawad and Mike could not make it tonight, so we decided to do a special guest here. I want to introduce you guys to a good friend that I just met, this last month, and he has a podcast that him and a couple of his friends have started, and I just want to introduce everybody to Brady. Brady, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, I'm really excited to be here. I've been listening to your podcast. Like you said, for the past month, I really enjoyed it. Me and my homies. I'm really blessed to be able to do a podcast with them. It's a Blazer podcast. We focus on the NBA too. It's called Point Nine. So yeah, I'm excited to be here, man.
Yeah, first off, it's you're lucky because you have your friends that you've grown up with talking sports. Me, Fawad, and Mike, we didn't know each other before this all started, and the chemistry, we had to build it, but you have your chemistry with your friends already, so it's fun listening to your podcast because you guys all have that chemistry built up, and it seems so easy for you guys to talk to each other. And truly, it was easy for Fawad and Mike and I to talk. But it just, that first couple episodes, there was just this awkwardness, like, we didn't really know each other. But for you guys, it's just smooth sailing, it seems like. And I've enjoyed listening to the episodes you guys have put out. I think you guys just put one out today, or was it yesterday?
Yeah, we put one out today. We drop our episodes on the first and third Monday of each month. And this month had 5 Mondays. So we dropped an episode which we call our Vitas Sabonis episode. And it's just a little fun episode. It's, we just play a little bit of a game. We call head-to-head, jersey to jersey. And you guys should check it out. We have a lot of fun. I appreciate the compliments, that we have a lot of chemistry. And it's true, we've been friends for, I would say, since I was about 14, and I'm old now, so like 15 years, you know what I mean? And we've just talked sports growing up. And so it is really easy. But I don't know what to say, man. I'm really blessed to be able to do it with those two. I do it with one of my best friend, Owen, and my other best friend, Thomas. So, yeah, I appreciate it, man.
So, talking basketball is what you guys do. So let's talk about a little bit of Blazer basketball. First things first. One of the biggest reports that I've seen in a while for us, there was a report that came out that sounds like there is no interest in trading Nurkic and CJ this year. First off, what's your first reaction when you hear that? Like that the front office does not plan on making any moves with CJ or Nurk?
Man, my first reaction to that is I thought we fired Neil O'Shea. I thought we got rid of that guy. And everyone's complaining, that Stotts was the issue. And then we get rid of Stotts and we hire Chauncey, which I don't know about you. I liked that move. I wanted Chauncey from the beginning. I think they had Becky Hammond interview. Mm-hmm. They had Chauncey, and who else did they have?
Oh my gosh! Now it's Mike D'Antoni.
Gosh, thank God they made the right move in not hiring Mike D'Antoni. But I wanted Chauncey from the beginning. And so Chauncey comes in and we still have the issue. And then they say, it's a roster construction issue. And I mean, I think that's the issue. What do you think the issue is?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of fans and I think a lot of NBA, fans in general can tell that we've been running it back for the last 5 years with the same roster with minor tweaks. It's clearly a roster issue.
Yeah, that's not the move, you know. Like
Yeah.
little tweaks aren't the thing that's going to make this happen. And I'm a firm believer that in the NBA there's two ways to get better. You can either have your players on your team get better or go get better players.
Yes.
And those are like the only two options, you know what I mean? And so we've not gone and got better players. Ben McLemore's not the answer, my friend. Cody Zeller's not the answer.
No. Although I will say this, Ben McLemore's a nice piece to have on your roster, but that shouldn't be your big move in the offseason.
Yeah. He's a nice 7th best player.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's not a good third option, you know, and it's hard to watch sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so hearing the news that CJ and Nurk their plans aren't to be traded, it's like then what is the plan?
So that's my question for you. What if, like you, I agree. I don't know. We got rid of Neil O'Shea for these, reasons, and it's like nothing's changed still.
Man,
but
1,000 reasons we could say.
Yeah,
so many bad things to say about him.
Very true. So then, what do you think the plan is? Is it to wait till the offseason to try to make moves? Is it just a ploy to pretend like we're not interested in moving CJ to make his value a little bit higher, or do you really think their plan is to not move CJ and Nurk at all?
I would love to say that I know what the front office is thinking, but I think that's just the best Trailblazer move ever to just keep us waiting. You know what I mean? It's so like the Portland Trailblazers to not make up their minds. We've been through so much through the years.
Yep.
And to just be stuck in the balance. And you said, do we wait till the off season? I think we can't afford to wait till the off season.
No.
We have, I think, Roko's contract is expiring and Nurk's is, isn't it?
Yep. Both of them.
And
along with Simons.
And we have to do something. There has to be a move. And I think the trade deadline is a week and a half away. And there's no direction. And that's scary. It really, really is scary. What I think the direction we need to move is Damian Lillard. God bless that man. I will never say a bad word about Damian Lillard. We need to keep him. I don't want him to leave.
Yeah.
And so we're in win now mode. We have to go Los Angeles Rams on this thing.
You're not wrong.
we need to go LA. We already have our Matthew Stafford. We need to go out and get the Odells. We need to go bring in Von Miller. And we have the trade assets to do so. CJ is a good trade asset. Honestly, you posed a question this last week, I believe, asking if we should trade or if we should keep Norm or Anthony. And my response is, let's keep Anthony. He's shown us so much, and he is only 22 years old. And Norm is a great piece. He really is. But we're in win now mode. Go trade our two big trade pieces. CJ is an amazing scorer, and I think just like a little sidetrack, bunny trail. Stop me if I talk too much, because I know I talk too much, bro. But this has gone on for too long. Dame and CJ, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it would work if they could play defense, but they can't. It's so dynamic watching the two play, because the way I describe it is Damian Lillard is like a vertical threat. Every time he steps past half court, you have to guard him the full length of the court. He can shoot from anywhere. He's dangerous off the pick and roll and exploding to the basket. When CJ's a horizontal threat, he does a lot of his work baseline to baseline, and he's a very shifty player. Very shifty. And when you have two guards that can explode offensively like that, and especially when you have to have a defense that reacts to someone who's moving baseline to baseline, and then someone who's moving within the half court setting. Like it's really, really tricky. But we've seen in the Stotts era that you can score all you want, but this team just can't play defense. They can't play defense. And so it's not working. And so there needs to be a plan, and it needs to happen fast.
Exactly. So let me play devil's advocate here for a second. That podcast where that question got brought up between Norman Powell and Simons, I initially said Simons because I think in the long run, we're going to get more value out of Simons than we would Powell. But with that being said, if our goal is to win now, the more I thought about it, because Fawad kind of brought that question up, and I didn't really have time to really sit and think about it. And the more that I thought about it, if our goal is to win now, Powell has offensive ability. He has defensive ability. Simons is more of an offensive threat player. And to me, this is going to be a weird comparison, but I honestly kind of see Simons like CJ. He's a very talented offensive player. The defense he lacks. So I feel like if we trade CJ and we end up moving Norman Powell, we're going to just have another CJ on our hands where we have this guard who's offensively gifted like crazy and can do so many crazy things, but defense is an issue. And and maybe we get the defensive players from trading CJ and Norm, and maybe we can balance that out more. But it's almost like, if now that I think more about it, if we're in win now mode, it almost would be better to maximize the value that Simons is putting out right now and try to trade him, keep Norman Powell. We honestly have Norman Powell for a good, his value on his contract is very good. So we have Lillard at the 1 and Powell at the 2, and then we have, whatever we can get for CJ, for Simons, and if they do try to decide to trade Nurk. I have a feeling we're going to see a Rocco trade here pretty soon.
Please.
I don't see us going to the end of the season with him unless he's told the front office, hey, I will re-sign at like a vet minimum or something, because there's no reason to not have him. I think this season is over. I think a lot of us can agree that the injuries that we've had to deal with, losing Nas, which we haven't even talked about yet, Nasir Little is out for the season. It's just like,
Watford just rolled his ankle tonight.
Watford rolled his ankle. It's like, how many other signs do we need to be like, the world is telling us it's time to just try to get a pick and get ready for next year. So let me ask you, I kind of rambled there for a second. If we're in win now mode, do you think it's better to have Powell at the 2 or to have Simons at the 2?
So you ask him
that's assuming that we re-sign Simons. I mean, we technically could re-sign Simons and still keep Powell, but let's just say for this scenario, one of those guys has to go.
So one of them has to go. Honestly, it's CJ, Simons, and Powell. One of them has to go, if not two. So that's a very loaded question because there's so much that surrounds it.
Mm-hmm.
How I can I don't know the word devil's advocate back, but Anthony's only 22 years old. We got to remember that he's still so young, and I run a business, or I'm the manager of a business, and a lot of the times when I'm coaching and I'm teaching my staff, I can really mold young talent, and I can teach them and I can shape them and mold them. And Norm's, how old is Norm? Is he 28, somewhere in there?
Somewhere around there. Yep.
He's been in the league for some time. He's won a championship. The dude is set in his ways. The way he's going to play is the way he's going to finish his career. So, yes, Anthony he's not a very good defender, at all. We can just be unbiased. By the way, I love the name of your podcast because I am so unbiased. I am the first person in the the Facebook forums and all that stuff. That's where I actually ran into you and met you.
Yep.
Some of these fans are so homers that they can't accept the fact that this team sucks.
Yeah.
Like, this team isn't
It's
good.
it's bad.
It's pretty bad, but honestly, it's really, really funny. So I get a lot of my enjoyment from those. But let me get back to what I'm saying. Anthony is so young. I don't think that he's set in his ways. If we can get a quality defender, a veteran to come in and help shape and mold him, I believe that. I don't think he's going to be all defensive team, but
Sure.
I think that he could hold it down, and look at who he has. The reason that Anthony has exploded offensively is because he's literally had to guard Damian Lillard
Yep.
and watch him play
Yep.
and CJ, and he's a perfect mix of those two. I think he's a great combo guard. But like, who has he had on his team that's a great defender? And we can sit here and think about that for a while because it's nobody. He hasn't had a
Yeah.
great defender.
You're not wrong.
And so, literally, as much as I hate this guy, Patrick Beverly, if we could get that guy on a small contract and have him, but I don't even know if that would work between him and Dame. But Dame's a competitor. Dame's a competitor, and he would embrace that. But get a old head in there that plays like hard-nosed defense. I think that that would turn Anthony Simon's game and give him new facets. So there's a huge gamble on whichever one you pick. You take the gamble on picking Norm, with Anthony going off and becoming an all-star. And then we have another Jermaine O'Neal on our hands.
Sure. That's a
Or
good point right there.
Or you play the risk of we get rid of Norm and keep Anthony, and we already know what Anthony's going to do on offense. But the question then becomes, can he produce on the defensive end? So there's going to be a gamble no matter what. And personally, I would rather take the gamble on potential. So that's my answer.
And honestly, we're in a if this is a good issue to have. You have too many players that you want to keep because they do bring value to you, but you also it's an issue because you're trying to figure out how to maximize that value and what moves works for this team. So I
Yeah.
mean, it is a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have at a really bad time.
Exactly. Bad timing for the problem to happen. I mean, truly, if we decided to trade CJ and Norm and kept Simons for his potential, 100%, I'm for that move. I don't see any issue with that. The issue that I see is keeping CJ. First and foremost, keeping CJ.
You can't do that. You can't do it.
Yeah, we've seen it. He has to move. And I was thinking while we were talking, maybe their plan is off season to get this pick, get a better pick in the draft, and then package that with CJ to try to get somebody. Maybe that's their plan. I mean,
We can always do a sign and trade as well
Exactly.
with Rocco and
exactly. I can't fathom why they haven't made a move yet. And maybe that's their plan. I mean, we'll never know till something happens. It's just crazy to me to think that there's a report that's out there saying they're not planning on moving anybody.
Well, I mean, there was just a report that Tom Brady's going to retire too, and like nobody knows if it's true. So
That's true. That's a
but
good
it's
point.
just it's really scary because there's just no clear direction. It's like how I can like think about it is it's like your friends are like, hey, let's go out to eat, and you're starving, and then nobody can choose where they want to go, and you're at this point just be like, I don't care what you pick, just pick one.
Let's go somewhere. Let's do it.
Let's just do something.
Yeah.
And we're in the middle of that right now. Are we going to tank or are we going to try and win? And
that's what I said in one of our podcasts. I just
I heard it. It was a great
someone
podcast.
would say, this is what we're doing. The season's over. We're tanking. Or this is what we're doing. We're going for the playoffs, and just let everybody know. And I'll be honest with you. Watching this game tonight, we haven't talked about. We just played the Thunder and we got smacked, and it was embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing.
It looked like we were tanking. But then you get these other games, like you get the Chicago Bulls game where we come back and it's like we make this comeback and it's like, what are we trying to win still, or are we trying to get a better pick? I don't know what the hell's going on.
We've always been a team that plays to our competition.
100%.
And it's really it's
annoying.
It causes for really, really good games. And it also like has us with really, really bad games.
I want games where we blow them out by 30 and we don't have to worry.
Yeah, people think that those are boring games. those are not boring games. I really, really, really enjoy those.
I mean,
I
we
like
get to
to win.
see, I like to win. We get to see younger talent come in. We get to see, everybody play. And it's like these close games that, like, the last 5 years, just always coming down to the wire and Lillard having to save us every game. It's like, I'm getting old. I can't take it. My heart can't
My
take it.
heart, dude, I can't do it either. I'm a dad too. Like, I'm already worried enough. I can't do this.
And then we see last year, Lillard just does this unbelievable 50-point playoff game, and he's doing everything he can to keep us in the game. And it's like, it's not enough.
That's
Where
the
it,
moment when I knew it was over.
yes, where it used to be enough. Him doing that used to be enough. Now we see it, and it's like, that's not enough anymore. There's
That's so
clearly
well
an
put.
issue.
So well put. That's exactly it. Like, it was such a defeating moment when
Oh,
you're like, wow, like, Dame did everything he could. He's done everything for our city. He's done everything our franchise. And, like, you look around and you're like, you guys just let him down.
yep, 100%.
And it was so defeating. It's one of the worst feelings I felt as a Blazer fan. And man, it was at that moment that I was like, this team it's not it. Something
Yeah.
has to be done.
Yeah, that loss there when he did that felt like we lost the series, like, already. Like, that moment there where, like, it was over. And I think the very next game we lost and it was the series over anyways, but to me at least, that game felt like that was the series over. And it was
That was a franchise defining game in my opinion.
yeah, and here we are running it back with everybody the same, add a couple little, little things, and let's hope something's different. No,
Yeah,
same issue.
the like definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And it's insane to me that whatever new GM Joe Schmo over here is like, you know what? Like, I know that Neil O'Shea was a really bad guy. He did a lot of really bad moves. He wasn't a very good GM. But you know what? I think he was onto something. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, and hopefully there's a plan. That's all I can say. We don't know, but hopefully there's a plan. Let's talk about something else. Let's get a little bit happier here.
Yeah, please.
Nurkic has been playing these last couple games, more than couple, these last games. Been playing like almost like before he broke his leg. Like, you can see that he's more engaged. And one thing I've noticed watching these games is our game plan is now more to him. They're getting him the ball down in the post, letting him run the offense from the post. Whereas a lot of times it was coming up, setting screens, and just pick and rolls all the time. It's nice to see he's being aggressive. He's still, I mean, for being 7 foot tall and being as big as he is, he still cannot finish around the rim for some
Dude,
reason.
he's a monster. He's big. He's a big boy.
But I mean, he gives us effort. The start of the year, there was those games where you could tell he wasn't really interested, and it's like these last 10, 15 games, he's been engaged in almost every single game. How do you feel these last 10, 15 games seeing Nurk play? How do are you feeling like, for me at the start of the season, I was like, we can just move on from this guy. I don't think he wants to be here. He comes out and he says he does want to be here. He wants to be here as long as Lillard's here and as long as we want to win. So I've always liked Nurkic. I get frustrated when he gets frustrated because he's a very emotional player and he lets his emotions get the best of him sometimes. But these last 15 games, he's been playing really good basketball. So, anything you want to say about Nurkic?
Man, I was infected with Nurk fever from the beginning.
Oh,
I really, really liked Nurkic. I do really, really still like Nurkic. My problem with him is that his success seems so dependent on others. Nurk is not. He's not the guy that's going to lead you to success. He needs to be led, and you can see that by him being unhappy when Dame's unhappy, or him being unhappy based on others around, which I can't blame him. I'm the same person on the court. You know what I mean? I am very much an emotional person, emotional player, and all that kind of stuff. So I can understand him a little bit. But he truly, truly has been playing really, really good basketball. And I think his most underappreciated aspect of his game is his playmaking ability.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because he comes from Denver and played with, big boy Jokic. So
Yep.
he's a really, really good facilitator. I really like how he passes out of the post. But you're right, man. The dude can't finish, and it's so frustrating because he's so massive. But like you even see how his size. There was a play tonight where he was down on the low block and he's backing down OKC and turns, and a defender comes and he gets double teamed in the post, and he's just like, he's so much bigger than everybody. He just left hand hooks it off the glass, and it's like, that's what we need him to do, is to finish strong, to
100%.
use his size. But yeah, he gets frustrated easily, and when he's frustrated, it's a clear switch that you can say he's not engaged anymore. He doesn't want to be on the floor. It's like Zach Collins. Zach Collins fouled too many times, and you could tell when he would just lose it, and it would just become like instantly disengaged in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hope that he continues to play the way that he is, and if he does, I think he has a spot on this roster. I don't think we need to trade him, but especially when Dame comes back, their chemistry's fun to watch. It's kind of like DeRozan and Lowry to me. I really loved their chemistry and their friendship. But I just wish that like Nurk was engaged all the time, because when he is, he's a very good basketball player, and he's a very good asset that could really contribute to a championship team. So
yeah, we've said before, angry Nurk is good Nurk, frustrated Nurk is bad Nurk, because
when you said that,
it's
sorry.
No, you're good. When he's frustrated, it's never good. It turns into bad fouls. It turns into just like
stupid shots at the rim.
Just
like
not
his
caring
shot selection
anymore.
is bad.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say about Nurk, that it seems like ever since he broke his leg, and first off, let me say this: I don't blame him at all. That leg break was nasty, and
It was not fun.
No, I 100% understand this, what I think it could be. I think he's got this mental block when he's down there of being afraid of re-injuring that leg, or just having that happen again, because he was the first year or two that we had, he was a pretty decent finisher down there. Ever since that leg break, it's been different. It seems like he's gotten a little bit better these last 15 games, and I hope it continues, and I hope it's just confidence and he's building it. But he's definitely been different since his leg break, and that's totally understandable. I mean, I don't blame him at all. So I hope he's just building confidence, and we do decide to re-sign him and he does stay. I'm 100% fine with it. I think he is a good player to have on our team. Whether whether we go out and find somebody else and he's still here, he's definitely an asset worth having. And I think there's a lot of teams that would want him. So
100%. 100%.
I hope he stays. I hope he does resign with us. If that is the goal, is to keep him, I'm good with it.
Whatever we do, I just hope that we give Damian Lillard that chance to go and do something. And that's all we can give him. And honestly, that's all that he wants, is just a chance. And if Nurk truly does, out of all the big men we've had in the last 10 years, Nurk gives us the best chance to win. So
I agree.
Unless we go get someone like a Miles Turner, like Nurk is a very good option for us.
Nope, I agree. I think if it came down to it between Miles Turner and Nurkic, I think I would take Miles Turner. But once again, it's a good problem to have, choosing between those two. Either way, you're still coming out good.
You're coming out with a center that can actually do something.
Yeah. And like you said, Damon and Nurk have a very good relationship. So that, to me, this is what it is. I go to Dame and I say, hey, man, what do you want?
Exactly. Yeah.
Whatever you want, let's try to make it happen. I don't want to make you mad. What do you want?
There's an episode that we recorded kind of about influential players, and that'll drop sometime soon. But we had this conversation very briefly about Allen Iverson. Actually, it wasn't about influentials. It's our second episode that we dropped with our friend Jamar. Anyway, long story short, someone said, "Oh, I'll take Allen Iverson at shooting guard," and we're like, "No," or point guard, and we're like, "No, he's a shooting guard." And we had that conversation. Well, he's your franchise player. If he wants to play the point guard, he's the point guard.
Sure.
If he, if he wants to play the center, it's Allen Iverson. Give him the ball, and that's how it is with Dame. Like whatever Dame wants, Dame's gonna get. If he wants Nurk, he's getting Nurk. If he wants Miles Turner, he gets Miles Turner. That's the direction we need to go if you're the GM. Dame, what do you want? Give him the full keys, give him all access, and just go for it. Go for broke. If we win, we win. If we lose, at least as a fan, I can be like, yo, we gave it a good shot.
Yeah, and let's be honest. I think a lot of people know LeBron has always been the type of player that has kind of said, "Hey, this is who I want. Let's go get him. This is who I want. Let's go get him. I don't want this guy. Let's trade him." And he does a lot of the time get what he wants. Let's be honest. We don't ever hear Lillard really say anything like that. Imagine LeBron being switching places with Lillard and LeBron being on our team, and he wouldn't sit there and say, "Yeah, let's run it back for the fifth time with the same roster."
No, he'd sell him like he did all the Lakers.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's good to it and there's bad because like you see with LeBron, he goes out and he picks these players and you see the Lakers are not working well either. So,
But he did make it to 8 straight finals.
No,
So, I mean, like, it works a
you
little
can't
bit.
knock
But
him. You're right. You cannot knock that. But at the same time, it's crazy to see the loyalty that Lillard has, the attitude of like, you know what, I'm just gonna go out and I'm gonna do whatever I can to help our team win, no matter who's out here. And not saying that LeBron's not like that, but Lillard has always been the type to fly under the radar and not stir up issues. And when all these trade, Lillard wants out and all this stuff, you could tell he was getting frustrated because he's said it millions of times. If it doesn't come from my mouth, it's nothing. And all these people were just taking it and running with it. So,
but that's why we love him.
Exactly.
That's why we love Dame, because, like, let's be honest, the teams that we've had in the past, I don't know, when did LaMarcus leave? 2015? When was that?
Yep, I think it's 2014, 15. Yep.
Like, the teams haven't been very good.
No.
They haven't. And he's still rocked with us.
Yep.
And we've had, like, I think we're all afraid that we're going to get LaMarcus again,
Yeah, no, I get it. 100%.
And so to just watch a player be like, no, like Portland, this small market team that nobody knows, this small market team that you have an explosion of the best game of the day and you still don't make it on Sports Center.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm here for you. I got you. This is my squad. This is my team. And like, how can we not fall in love with this guy? There's like few players that it's impossible to hate. I don't know how you can hate Damian Lillard.
Yeah,
He's just such a great person, a great player. It's like, I don't know how you can hate Derrick Rose.
Nope.
I understand why you don't like Russell Westbrook. I don't either. But like Damian Lillard, you got to roll with him. And I think that's just why we embrace him. Like, you can do anything you want in this franchise.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have an issue if he came out and said, I want this guy on our team. Let's do it.
I would not either. I would, he could tell me to go get Raymond Felton back, and I would be like, yeah, that's a great idea.
As long as you're happy. As long as you're happy.
As long as you're happy.
So before we wrap this up, let me ask you just a couple questions. It's something that we try to do with a lot of the guests that we have. Who is your all-time favorite Blazer?
My all-time favorite Blazer. So I've been a Blazer fan. I think I started watching in the year 2001, 2000. And there's like Blazer eras, I really liked Derek Anderson. And then that whole team blew up. And then I took a really good liking to Darius Miles, which honestly, the guy was not good. But I loved Darius Miles. And then I loved Travis Outlaw.
Oh,
he was like, and then obviously the natural Brandon Roy.
Yep.
But I think I've never fallen in love with a player like I have with Damian Lillard. He's given me some of the greatest basketball memories of my entire life. And he's just been constant, there's been so many Blazers that come and go, and so it's hard to like stick with them and love that player. Like Brandon Roy goes to Minnesota, like how could you? But I don't ever think Dame's going anywhere, and he's given me so many great moments. He's stayed healthy almost his entire career up until this year, and so I've literally gotten to watch
Really? Yeah.
every single moment of his career. And Damian Lillard is my favorite Blazer of all time.
Do you have a favorite Blazer moment?
So once again, like so many, like
Yeah,
I'm a
sure. No,
diehard,
I get it.
I'm a diehard. The Thomas Robinson block,
Oh, to the
followed by
alley-oop.
to the Wesley Matthews to Will Barton.
Yes.
Then there's this moment we were playing Chicago, I believe, and Mike Dunleavy fouls Damian Lillard, and Wesley Matthews gets in his face and like starts this thing, and I was just like, "You remember that?"
Yes, I do.
And I was like, "Dude, Wesley Matthews is a dog. Like I love this guy."
I love Wesley Matthews.
Obviously Lillard's shot against Chandler Parsons, .9, what my podcast was birthed off of. Like I've never felt more proud in that moment to be a Blazer. And you know that there's so many moments that I'm not proud of, like tonight. Like tonight. And so when LaMarcus Aldridge went back-to-back 40-plus games against the Rockets in that series, like there's just so many great Blazer moments.
There really is.
I'm never going to be one to bring up like the 70s and 80s and talk about it like I know everything because, bro, I wasn't even a thought yet. I don't know anything, but the great moments that I've got to experience as a Blazer fan, there's just a lot of them, but good or bad, I'm here, you know?
And, talking about great moments, honestly, one of the greatest moments since I've been watching, it didn't even result in a win. It was that 50-point Lillard game. I truly can name maybe one other game where I've seen a player take over and just literally do every single thing possible to keep the team in it. And I remember I know it was just last year, but like I could not believe what I was watching. Every single thing he did, I could not believe it.
Yeah, there's a few games that I can remember where I'm watching a certain player take over, like Kobe's last game.
Yep.
And
that's a good point.
And I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, I cannot believe he just did that.
Yep.
Like I cannot believe that like the world orchestrated this moment, and in that moment he did that.
Yeah, no, 100%
and
agree.
LeBron James's block on Iguodala, like I was like, yo, he ran 72 feet to hit that. Like I just can't believe that happened. Dame's 50-point playoff performance, I was like, yo, like he did every dribble move right. He got the defense off. He made them plant that foot. He just like, how does he do the things that he does? And yet, it wasn't enough. You know?
It leaves a sour taste just because of the end, but just the thought of it, just knowing what he did.
McCollum's block. That's another huge moment. I forgot.
Oh, yes.
Against Denver. Yo, I was like, yo, I did not know McCollum had bunnies like that.
Those leanings he's got on.
Because he never dunks the ball.
No.
Like he truly never dunks the ball. And so like he's got like Zach Randolph syndrome. I swear when Zach Randolph played for Portland, like he like had cement in his shoes. He never jumped off the ground.
So
and CJ's the same way.
He didn't have to.
Yeah, right. So yeah, those are great moments, man. And that 4 overtime game versus Denver, like so many great moments, man.
There really is. Like you could sit there and just name off, and I'm sure a lot of teams can do that too, but it's like Brandon Roy's buzzer beater against Houston.
That was another one. That was the first buzzer beater that I watched.
Yeah, I was supposed to be at that game.
I was supposed to be at Game 6 versus OKC.
Ooh.
Owen's dad bought tickets, and
Ooh.
I decided that I was going to go to a small group at my church. And honestly, that was the worst decision I've ever made.
Ooh.
I'm so hurt about that one. Like, oh, it still gets me. It still
Yeah.
gets me.
We are a lucky fan base, especially these last 10 years of having success for a majority of it.
Yeah, we've made the playoffs for I think 8 of them.
Yep, I think so. And
So
and especially when we lose, like when LaMarcus and Matthews and Batum left, and you're thinking, okay, we got to start over, and it's like we're lucky that we have Lillard, and that's why
yeah,
it's crazy to me that people are like, let's just trade him, let's get rid of him. And it's like this dude has given us everything, and the moment one season goes bad, you're like, let's get rid of him. It blows
well,
my mind.
have you watched the Blazer Forum, man?
Oh,
We
it's
have a
bad.
we have a good game, and it's like this team could really do it. We're championship caliber, and then it's bad, and it's like blow this team up. They're
Yep.
freaking garbage,
Yep.
and then like we have a good game again, and people are screenshotting like, oh, should we trade CJ now? It's like yes, we should. Even if he just scored 45, get rid of him, please.
Like you said, it's definitely entertaining to read the stuff that people post.
Oh, it's a blast, man. I truly enjoy the community that the Blazers have, whether they're fair weather fans or completely unrealistic. But like, I think the reason why I got along with you, man, is because we think alike. We're completely unbiased, and we just want success, and wherever that
Exactly.
comes,
Yep.
let's do it. Which is tying in. Sorry, I keep talking, man.
No, you're good. You're
Tying
good.
to the whole Lillard thing. Like, I don't understand how people want to get rid of this guy. When's think about this? When's the next time Portland is going to get truly handed a player of Damian Lillard's caliber? Like the player he is, the personality, the skill set he has. We were truly handed it. We traded away Gerald Wallace, which cool, like
Yeah. I mean,
and
I think a lot of people think, oh, if you get a top 3 pick, you're gonna get a LeBron James, a Damian Lillard. It's like you're not guaranteed that ever.
and even if you go get yourself a Jalen Green or Ben Simmons, Ben Simmons is not even on the same planet
Nope.
as Damian Lillard.
Nope.
He's
That's why Philly
truly,
wants him so bad.
and that's why I don't want Ben Simmons that bad.
Exactly. Exactly.
The only way I would take Ben Simmons is if we didn't have to give away Dame and there was clearly communicated, you are not the point guard. You do not handle the ball. You play defense and you cut.
Yep. Which he would excel at doing that. He would.
He would, but I don't think that
He
mentally
doesn't want
he
to.
has
Yeah.
the capacity to pull back. It's the Carmelo. It's the young Carmelo
True.
mindset.
Yep.
Carmelo is, in my opinion, a top 5 greatest scorer of all time, and it's tragic that he doesn't have a ring. I think the reason he doesn't is because he could never get his mind right, and he could never play the role that he truly needed to play.
Yeah.
So,
Which is, you're not wrong there. I think a lot of people, even Mike, who is a Carmelo Anthony lover, I think he can probably agree that at times it seemed Melo prioritized money over winning.
yeah, why stay in
And
New York?
yep, exactly. Right there. Perfect example. But at the same time, like you said, he's gonna go down in history as one of the best scorers ever. And, there's truth to this and there's not truth to this. Tracy McGrady, when he made the Hall of Fame, and J.R. Smith took issue with it because Tracy said that anybody can win a championship, not everybody can make the Hall of Fame. And honestly, Tracy's right.
Oh, for sure.
Anybody can win a championship. You have these players, Brian Scalabrine with championships. Even though he
What's
didn't play a
the
major
Patrick
role.
McCaw? He won 3 in a row.
3 in a row. Those dudes are never going to make the Hall of Fame. J.R. Smith, he might make the Hall of Fame. I don't think he probably will, but he's got championships and Tracy doesn't. Carmelo
So,
probably will never get a championship. I mean, maybe he does, but I doubt it. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
he's a
No
first ballot
doubt.
Hall of
Yeah,
Famer.
no
Easy.
doubt.
Well,
So,
my question to you is, would you rather win 6 championships, go Michael Jordan, get 6 rings, and average 3 points a game for your career, or
sure.
would you rather be a 28-point scorer, 7 assist guy,
Sure.
um,
That's a tough question.
and just never get the ring? Not even make the finals. Let's not even make the finals. What career would you rather have?
I mean, that's a great question. I think if I'm being honest with myself, I th- I think I'd want to be the player that was like a focal point of the team. Even if it means that I didn't win a championship, I knew that I was one of the main reasons why. I wasn't relying on someone else to carry me.
Yeah, I like that too. I think I would rather do that. You may
And
not like. Go ahead.
there's nothing wrong with being a 3-point scorer and winning 6 championships. Like, I would be just as excited for that. Hell, I would be excited for just sitting on the bench and not playing a single minute and getting a championship.
Heck, that's
But
what I'm doing with the Blazers right now.
but I think and part of me, that kind of Jeremy Grant, he doesn't want to be like a second or third option. He wants to be, one of the main options. And part of me, if that's how you feel, there's nothing wrong with that. If to you money and being the number one option on your team is what you want, and you can live with, like Lillard said, he can live with never getting a championship but staying in Portland. If you can live with not getting a championship, then there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I would make the sacrifice to score 3 points a game, but I also would have no problem being Mr. Big Shot on the team.
I it is a good question. I would rather be, like you said, the focal point. So
Yeah. It don't
whether or
even have to
not,
be focal point. I could be like 15 points and playing meaningful minutes and not just being, come in at garbage time and play for 5 minutes.
you don't want to be the Dan Dickow.
I mean, yes, I would. I'd be okay with that. Who are we kidding? I would. Put me in the NBA. I don't care I'll be the water boy. I don't care.
Bro, I would just love to go to the games every single night.
Right?
Basketball's basketball.
And it's crazy to think that they get paid millions of dollars to play it.
Too much money, but that's a different podcast.
Yeah, right.
That's a different podcast.
And it's crazy. It's like we would do it for free. Obviously, no one would want to watch us, but I'd do it for free.
That's true.
Well, Brady, I totally appreciate you joining short notice. Go ahead and just let us know about your podcast.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. I'm one of the 3 Calabreos that do the Point 9 podcast. We call it Point 9 because Point 9 is not only the seconds it took, Damian Lillard to hit that shot over Chandler Parsons, but it's the amount of time they should take and watch our next episode. No, I'm just kidding. Point 9 is literally, it's just a community. It's me and my 2 best friends, and we've talked hoops for, like I said at the beginning of this episode, 15 years. It's just a show where we take time and we just discuss the NBA or hot topics or nostalgic topics, but we do it through the eyes of diehard Blazer fans. So we think that basketball is such a beautiful thing. It brings people together, like Alex, Fawad, and Mike, people who've never met each other, and yet they can come together and have a podcast together and develop relationships. And that's what we want to do here, not here, but over at our podcast, Point 9. We want to develop relationships with people and build a community of people who just love basketball. And one unique thing that we like to do is we like to, interview other fans of other franchises and diehards and figure out why they love the game, get their favorite moments, and it's just a lot of fun. Like, like Alex said at the beginning, it's just three friends just having conversation. And, we drop an episode every first and third Monday. We'd love for you guys to check it out. We're really excited. And we're really blessed to do what we do on whatever capacity it may take over. So I appreciate you letting me be on here, man. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. This was great. I love talking Blazers. I love talking hoops. As bad as we may be, as big of a lead as we may blow, and you know what? Forever and ever. We got the Lakers on Tuesday. No, we got the Lakers on Wednesday.
Wednesday, yep.
Screw you, Russell Westbrook. That's all I'll say.
Brady, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, it was super short notice. We've talked about it, and hopefully we can get Owen, we can get Thomas in here as well. I appreciate you joining. Everybody, check out Point 9 podcast. Anything else you want to add before we close out?
No, we tune in. We're gonna have Alex on for an episode. Here, I think we're recording it next week, huh?
Yep.
We're recording it on the 8th. Our next podcast drops on Monday, the 7th. We're going to honor number 7 on the 7th, and we're going to have an episode about Brandon Roy. So I hope that you guys, tune in and enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Brady, I appreciate it once again. Everybody that's listening, I hope you guys have a good day, have a good night. Other than that, like you said, Lakers coming up on Wednesday. Let's, even though we're tanking, that's one team I want to beat every time. So
every single time,
let's beat them, and then we can go back onto the tank mission. Other than that, Brady, I hope you have a great night. Thanks for joining, and as always, Rip City, baby.